When pursuing MPD, it's important to consider and understand what it will take to reach full funding. MPD is relationship building with a purpose, inviting people to join you in ministry. Without God and the practical support of your ministry partners, you won't reach your goals. In the past, you may have heard the term referrals. This term was used to describe people to whom you were introduced who might be interested in learning more about your ministry. But consider what words or thoughts come to mind when you hear the word referrals. The MPD team has changed the language from referrals to connections. Why? Because when you ask someone to share the contact information of someone they know, what you're really asking them to do is connect you to people they care about, friends, colleagues, family members, etc. So the new way to think about asking for personal introductions is asking for ministry connections. You'll find that we've changed the word referrals to connections throughout MPDX. Asking for connections is an important skill, and, practically speaking, one of the most important parts of any MPD appointment. In this video, we'll show you where to input and organize these new connections into MPDX so they don't get lost in your list of contacts and so that you can preserve the history of how you met them. If you've just been introduced to multiple new connections at once, but they were not shared by an existing contact in MPDX, you can add multiple contacts. To do this, visit the Add menu in the top corner of any MPDX screen, then select Add Multiple Contacts. Add the contact information you have, like first name, spouse name, last name, address, phone, and email. You can also add a status. An MPDX status explains which phase of the MPD process this contact is in. For these examples, we'll choose the status of New Connection. Each line you enter here will become a new contact in MPDX. If you've just had an appointment or completed a follow-up and been introduced to one or several new connections shared by an existing contact in MPDX, you can add the connections to the existing contact's contact page. To do this, go to the Contacts tab and follow their name hyperlink to the contact page of the person who shared these connections with you. Under the Connections tab, click Add Connections. Add the contact information you have, like first name, spouse name, last name, address, phone, and email. You can also add a status here. The process here is the exact same process as entering a new contact or adding multiple contacts to MPDX, because that's what you're doing. Each line you enter here will become a new contact in MPDX. But unlike adding a new connection to MPDX as a new contact, adding connections through the Connections tab of a contact helps you honor the history of who this connection came from. Now, when I click Charles and Jane Bingley's contact page, I can see all of the connections they've given me and when the connection began. Each name listed is a hyperlink to that contact's page. When I click Charlotte and Mr. Collins, their MPDX page will appear. And when I check under their Contact Details tab and scroll to the Other section, I can see that Charles and Jane Bingley connected me to the couple. I can return to the Bingley's contact page by clicking their name. But gaining connections is only part of the process. Once you have new connections and the original ministry contact has introduced you to their friend, it's important to initiate with those connections. In order to initiate, you have to be able to find them in MPDX. To find contacts with the status New Connection, you can visit the Contacts tab. Select the Flows view and look to the Connections column. If you do not have a Connections column, you can visit View Settings and select Reset to Default. This will reorganize your contacts by MPD phase. When you're ready to initiate with this contact, click and drag their name from the Connections column to the Initiate for Appointment column. When you do this, MPDX will prompt you to add task. Enter a task type of initiation, action, and task name to create and initiate task in MPDX. Note that we've added suggested tags when you log tasks. These task tags are designed to help you locate tasks involving connections. When you log a task type of appointment, there is a suggested tag of Asked for Connections. This tag will help you remember when you last asked this contact for connections. When you log a task type of follow-up, there is a suggested tag of Connections. This tag will help you remember that you asked for connections and may need to send a reminder to someone who's offered to connect you to some of their friends. To find the tasks with these tags, you can visit the Tasks tab and use the Filters menu to search by tag. Just click the associated tag to update the tasks list. To learn more about MPD phases and MPDX statuses, search MPDX status MPD phase. You will find a video and help documentation that explains these terms and how they work together. Our MPDX Refresh Tackling Tasks and Phases video will also help you understand how to add and log tasks in MPDX. Another way to find contacts with a specific status is using the Contacts Filters menu. First, switch to the List view, then unhide the Filters menu and scroll to Status. If you search New Connection, you'll see a list of all contacts with this status. If you'd like to see all contacts in the connection phase, you can add the statuses Ask in Future, Cultivate Relationship, and Research Contact Info to your search. As a note, a contact can only have one status at a time. Finally, the dashboard is a great location to see a list of all recent and on-hand connections. Visit the Dashboard tab, then scroll to the Connections section. Click Recent to see all connections added in the last 2 weeks. Click On Hand and View All to see the total number of contacts with the statuses New Connection, Ask in Future, Research Contact Info, and Cultivate Relationship. We hope this video has helped you understand the switch in language from referrals to connections, and gain confidence as you view and interact with these new connections in MPDX. Thank you for watching.